Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a side quest guide, how this one works. This one is actually a lot more straightforward than you might think. And of course we'll go over it in this video, including some guides, information and stuff like that. I will do a spreadsheet. I just don't know if it's going to be overly complicated this month, so that's fine. I've got other ideas for content, like we've got to do a banquet prep guide, including results of previous years and stuff like that. But side quest, yes, very straightforward. New weekly quests, new quest weekly. 5 difficulties, threats 1 to 5. Reward nodes grant randomized rewards. Rewards reset plus obtained each time you enter. 1 path with 3 looping optional paths. 1 boss fight per entry plus 1 additional fight per optional path you take. And that will be explained as we go through the video. So let's get into this. A part of the solo event-based grind is the Grave Robber. The Grave Robber is basically using hashtag mercenaries like your Massacres, Gwempels, Black Widow, Deadly Origins, and your shields. So, off the top of my head, Nick Fury, for example. Go into lower bits of content, go into any bit of content, just use them. Hey presto, you get yourself some points. What do points means? Well, points means these right here. Points means spelunking rope. So, yep, go and get your spunking rope. I said to myself, if I was doing this video, I'd say spelunking and not the other thing that I just said. So, get your rope. And you're only allowed to pick up 7 per week for 7 entries. And this particular event has this kind of chronometer rift type vibe to it. To a degree. It is not exactly like that, but the idea and premise around being able to use a shovel at one particular time to get this right here is going to be something that will be important to do. And that will be through objectives. One thing to note is that, and it looks like some of the bosses you have to do and go and defeat as part of your objective, as part of the quest it's like, okay, well, you defeat the end boss 7 times. And what do you need for this particular, quest to do? That's right. Defeat that champion 7 times. So, Rhino, there you go, treasure hunter. Defeat 7 times means you get a shovel. You then take your shovel, you then go to the store, the Catacombs store, which, if this is the brand, there we go, Catacombs store. You then use that particular treasure cache that you've got, you then exchange it for something, which I believe you get more. It should be a case you get multiple of them. So it's not a case of you choose one of these, you get multiples. And you do. I actually just realized whilst in that particular segment that you get 4 shovels. And 4 shovels mean that you can get the rewards once each week. So you get that particular cache one each week. So it's saying, okay, there's week 1 of Catacombs. And then what you're doing is you're going into the quest. One of your runs will be to secure this cache of treasures right here, which you'll be able to do on week 1, on week 2, on week 3, and week 4. So then you then go to the store, you then go to the Catacombs store, you will be able to choose one of each. So you'll only be able to get one of these, and that's how that particular element of that quest works. So in any case, without further ado, let's just get into to kind of seeing what this quest is all about. Now, right off the bat, I think it's just a case of trying to find the best team for this. So on my first run, and by the way, the weird thing is about this is some of these champions do actually feature in the objective. So I think rather than me kind of doing an objective guide, well, I probably will do it just as a quick guide. But most of them seem to be appearing within here. Like Massacre and Taskmaster seem to be the champions you face off against. Quake and Captain America, Luke Cage and Winter Soldier. Do bear in mind, you will have to bring in certain champion class types. Like, we've got Taskmaster coming up and use a skill champion for that. Now, I haven't brought in a skill champion, so that's not very good. When it comes to the others, use a science or a tech. So I've got to use my tech against Winter Soldier, and I've got to use a science champion, which that's something to bear in mind if you're going in to do these particular quests, is pick right and prep right. Obviously this is the first time me doing this, so it's just a case of a forewarning to everybody on this. Also, something to point out is that these rewards are randomized, so if you're not interested in something like that, 25,000 shards of tier 5 basic, if you're not interested in the 5-star relic shards, if you're not interested in 6-star signature stones because they are randomized, then what you could do is just go on the lower part right there to Rhino and avoid all of them as you so choose. Do bear in mind you will need one of your runs in order to acquire this particular cache right there with the shovel. So do bear in mind that, do the objectives and try and make sure you're doing it. If you are unable to do the objectives within the particular quest like this one, I'm going to put out a guide which is just going to, like, you know, talk about other areas to go. I'm nearly done with it, but obviously I need to get this video out first. Now, one thing my intention is to do something like this and use Bishop. I really like using Bishop. I think that a lot of persistent base champions will be helpful. Right, so I've probably cut the video as I'm going into my second time round. The first time round, there were things that happened in there I think I've learnt mistakes from, he says, with that. But yeah, I would say it's up to you. And something I don't know if I reiterated in the point, depending on how I've cut the video, is if you don't want to do the objectives which seem to be part of going in the side quest, how's that work, Rich? You go into the side quest, the objectives are to use X champion, so a class of champion like a tech or a skill or something, on, like, you know, Captain America here. So part of the objective is to go, right, well, I've got to defeat Captain America using a science champion. Now I have She-Hulk on my team. I could use She-Hulk. That's a good option. Likewise, when I go into Luke Cage in a minute, I've got to remember to try and use a champion that is tech. And try and use one of the aforementioned title champions on Rhino. But you've got to bear in mind there's a few things kind of like just not be tricky, but you've got to be very careful on stuff just in case. No, I don't want to be hit by that. Can I get a really strong SP2 right now? Yes. Answer your own question, Richard. I did. Now, hopefully a big SP1 to finish. And boom, there we go. Then we move on to the Luke Cage fight. And we use that. The reason I brought She-Hulk is that I found that I really needed a slow debuff champion. So I really recommend against the final boss, Rhino. By the way, watch out for proccing of Unblockable. Suspiciously frequently, is that a word? Frequently suspicious? Yeah, I think you know what I mean with that one. But again, we're doing the objectives as best we can, and Langor is something to watch out about as well. So yeah, we've got to watch out for Indestructible is going to be a little bit annoying. But hey ho, we do what we can do. So I'm just going to push here a little bit. I've got to watch out again for my power, which got to build up. Then we drop back. Hopefully he throws a special attack. He does. Don't let your power drop to 0 with this particular fight, otherwise you will be in Painesville. Residence U. That's really it. Watch out. Oh. Damn. It wouldn't let me chain. There you go. I do love when the game helps you out like that. But it isn't a massive worry because, hey, there's the win. No. Dropped inputs, love them. You gotta love them dropped inputs. Right, first of all, the reason that I have decided to get She-Hulk in, oh my god, that's something that I gotta like warn you about, is the proccing of Unblockable. Like, it is just, it's scary sometimes. The extent of proccing Unblockable. Like, you can just be chilling, and then all of a sudden you're just like proccing Unblockable. Man, it's not good. It's not good, dudes. Right, here we go. Big SP2 time. Boom. Yeah, I decided to kind of like just cut the video there because I got really annoyed with the fact that proccing of that Unblockable. Watch out for it. Any slow debuff champions, even though whatever happened with this particular fight happened, and that's so annoying Unblockable with this champion. I would say, like, it's going to be up to you how you take it down, because there will be a passive Unstoppable. You'll need something slow debuff or something that's able to counter it. So look out for slow debuff champions. And yeah, that's probably my warning right there with that one. Yeah, to do this quest is actually a lot more straightforward than, you know, if you want to take your favorite champions into that particular side quest, and you don't really want to play about with some of the interactions like these, then you can go to other areas to do the like questing side of things. So just go to quest, defeat lower versions of the champions to make it a bit more easier so you can bring in your favorite champions. Because it could be a case of going, right, well, you have to bring in a skill, you have to bring in a science, you have to bring in a tech, and then kind of go about defeating the boss. And with that particular, notion is like, well, it may be best to just do that a little bit of that. Again, down to you how you want to approach this particular quest. But we'll talk about that in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and check out some other content located on screen. I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye for now.